Well, hey guys, I'm going to do an interview style. So, if you want to learn more about me, who I am, and there's actually going to be some bonus lessons at the ends, what I would be teaching myself if I was back at 18. I'm 22 now. I learned a lot in these last 4 years, but I'm going to get to that one at the very end. So, the first question is, who is Timothy Smith? I am a Christian, I am a disciple of Jesus, and I follow Jesus more than I believe in him. A lot of people say I believe in God. I want to say same thing that Myron Golden said on a famous interview, which is I trust God. I trust him with everything that I have. And so, yeah, that's who I am. I'm a disciple of Jesus. I'm also a husband to my lovely wife Maria, who we have been married for over a year now, dating for 4. I am very passionate about creating leaders. So, financial coaching is huge to me. It's huge to me to actually teach Christians how to manage money wisely because I believe every single Christian in America has the ability to become a millionaire. But the Bible says that my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. So, I'm hoping that in a way I can share just prophetic words if I was using the Old Testament language on just how to fix this situation because the government is not helping. Lots of companies, businesses are not helping. So I'm hoping I can fight against that. So I do appreciate you watching if that lights you up as well. But yeah, that's who I am. I'm just someone who's trying to create leaders, a disciple who is supposed to create disciples. Now, I gotta move on, otherwise, this is gonna be a 30-minute interview. Number 2, what does a normal day for you look like right now? Walk us through your schedule. How do you wake up? What does work look like? How do you structure your time? I actually try to be very intentional with my time. I actually was just talking to a coach of mine who is a mentor of my not a coach, a fellow coach who is a mentor, not a mentor. Restart. I was talking to a fellow coach who is a who is also under my current business coach. And that dude's awesome. His name's Alprin. He's really good at helping other coaches when it comes to sales and just like achieving that mindset to actually win. I loved it. We had a great conversation. And I was sharing with him about how structured my life is, and the point is I do my best to spend over an hour every single morning with God. Lately, I've been reading about 6 to 7 chapters on average of the Bible because I'm trying to read the Bible in 6 months. Quick overview is I do that. I basically just have church in the morning. Then I go eat breakfast. Then I try to do deep work. Monday mornings tend to be a little slow because I have to catch up from the weekend usually on some Instagram related stuff. But usually throughout the week, I am I'm creating content Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday, I'm working on the business, trying to build leverage in the business. Thursday and Friday, I am doing outreach, which is where y'all watching, if you come from Instagram, if I message you on Thursday or Friday, that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to provide y'all value. And I'm also trying to find people who are ready to invest into my coaching. Freedom Finders program, awesome program on how to become a wise manager with your money. Enough about that. If you are interested in that, by the way, just please DM me on Instagram. Besides that, I try to spend time with my wife, and I just spend my Sundays enjoying, relaxing, stuff like that. So, I think that's the best I can do. How's business going? Honestly, business kind of sucks right now, in a way. It's really good and it's really bad. I have been doing my coaching business full time for just under a year now, and I think my business made $1,000 last year. Actually, it made less than that. And this year so far, it's made close to $1,000, which isn't bad considering it's almost the fifth month of the year. Compared to last year, it's still awful though. My point is, I'm still figuring out how to make money. But the good news is that I figured out what I need to do to grow it. Like, I know in detail what I need to do to grow my business. And so I'm really looking forward to that. It feels a little weird talking about it because if you're watching this, you are like a direct impact on how successful my business becomes, whether you get into my program or whether you think I'm a sleazy salesman. So, yeah, crazy stuff there. But yeah, business is going well. It's just a little scary because I'm running out of money. Stakes are getting high, but if I make the right moves, I'm going to make a complete turnaround. And I'm super excited for that. I'm so glad God is working this in me. Now, how's marriage treating you? You're building a business while being married at 21, 22 now. What's that been like? What have you learned? Communication is everything in marriage. In my opinion, communication is everything in life, but marriage even more so, because you're with someone who you're supposed to be deeply connected with. So communication is everything. Me and my wife had a tough conversation about money just the other day, where we kind of just had to reassess our goals, our values when it came to our financial well-being. But in general, marriage is... I love my wife. She is awesome, and our life has been really good. It warms my heart when I say that. Our life has been really good. I'm really blessed for what I've been given, the lovely wife that I have, and I'm looking at a photo of her right now. She's awesome. I wouldn't trade her for the world. 5. What's the hardest thing you're working through right now? I want to say business, but the reality is there's a spiritual side. I have a deep, hard time trusting God in making my business successful. I'm finding over and over God just saying, like, wait, not yet. You're not there yet. And it's just like, when? Because things are slowly getting worse in the situation of my life. The stakes are getting higher, as I shared before, and it's just like, I keep looking at him and I don't get a response, and it's kind of scary. It's kind of scary, but I know he's going to pull out in the end. It's so difficult to constantly keep that in the front of my mind because we're human, we have errors, we live in the flesh at times, and I am not invincible. So things are really scary, but when I dwell on it, or when I dwell on God's promises, I know He will carry me through. It may not be when I want it to be, but I know He will carry me through, and I know this is going to win. I know it's going to win. Number 6, what are you most excited about in the next 6 months? What goals are you chasing? What got you fired up? I believe within the next 6 months, my business is going to be making $5,000 a month in revenue, if not more. And that's huge because a 5K month is 5 times bigger than how much money I made last year. So I would finally be able to provide for my family. Me and my wife can finally start saving / investing for a home. We can finally move out of my in-laws because that's where I've been living while my wife is working, helping, taking care of the bills while I'm doing this, working for basically zero. And I can help take care of my dad, who is just in his old age and really needs that support because he hasn't set himself up financially, and it's just a bit too late there. But yeah. Number 7, what's one thing you're doing right now that you know your future self will thank you for? Business. This entrepreneurial life that I am tackling, I know is the best thing I can do for my life. I could leave my business right now and decide to go back to a corporate job lifestyle and never touch business again, and I know I will be 10 times more successful in life than if I never tried to start a business. I honestly believe this, in a way this goes against my philosophy, but I honestly believe if you want to personally grow and develop, the best and hardest thing you will ever do is creating a successful business or trying to create a successful business, because there's so much to learn. There's so much, I can't even describe it. But with everything that I have acquired just by working on a business, I know corporately, just doing a regular 9 to 5, I'm worth 10 times more than what I was doing before I left my business. In a year. In 1 year. That's that. What's something most people don't know about you? Don't have to be dramatic. Blah, blah, blah. Something that most people don't know about me, and this is kind of hard to admit because part of me is like, oh, what if this gets 200, 300, 400 views? Is I struggle with porn and lust. I say porn partially as a soundbite. I almost never watch porn anymore. But lust and just, the same issue David had, really. Just adultery, as the Bible calls it. Not that I've slept with anyone besides my wife. But I know without a shadow of a doubt that it's not something I should be doing. I should not be looking at other women. I know that for a fact. And I've gotten so much better at not doing that. I've gotten so much better at breaking down that bad habit, but it doesn't go away that easily. It actually really frustrates me. I'm getting on Instagram now these women that are just dressed indecently. You click on their profile, they have nothing there. They have a story up, and it's them about as naked as they can get away with, and says, click to watch 18 plus, basically porn. And I'm seeing these on my stories, where I'm supposed to be looking at people and like kind of reviewing what's going on, reach out to people, and that's something that really gets me at times. It's so difficult. I've never clicked on any of those videos, but I've clicked on quite a handful of the profiles, just kind of more than anything bewildered at the fact that that was a thing that was going on. So yeah. Now then, the cool questions, 9 and 10, if you've watched this till then, thanks for sticking around. If I could go back and give 18-year-old Timothy one piece of advice, what would it be? Back then, I just moved out of my parents' house with $3,000 in savings. What would I tell him? I would tell him that he is going to fail if he does not plan out his life, find what he wants to do with it, and plan with his money. Timothy is going to fail, because that's exactly what led me to fail. If I was on a budget, if I figured out, what I wanted to do for work, if I knew without a shadow of a doubt what I wanted to do, I wouldn't have ended up in that crash. Not a literal crash, but I had a back injury that led me to move back in with my parents with a fraction of the money that I had saved. And so I'm really grateful for that moment, but it wouldn't have happened if I just already had those lessons of It's going to take longer than you think. You're going to fail if you don't create a why for your life. That's what's most important. And actually, above all of that is worship God, follow God, because at that moment in my life, I was a washed down Christian. I was saved, but I was getting re-saved every other week, basically. And last thing, what's one thing you want people to walk away knowing after watching this video? What's one thing I want y'all to understand? I want you to understand that you can be a millionaire. I don't care what your situation is. I don't care how bad things look. I don't care if you're 65. I don't care. You can be a millionaire. Because Deuteronomy 28 says, Deuteronomy 28, the Bible goes over the blessings and the curses of what Israel will have depending on their obedience for God. And the blessings is you're blessed. I mean, I don't need to say it beyond that, but like financially, spiritually, physically, you will be well off if you simply obey God at any point in your life. Those promises hold true today. And if you do not have those in your life, it's because either one, they're still developing, or two, you're not obeying God. And those are very connected, tends to be. So yeah, if you obey God, you gain knowledge. You can become a millionaire. Now, for that guy who's 65, maybe you won't become a millionaire, but you definitely can become wealthy. You definitely can do great things with money. Much better than the situation that you're in. But you can become wealthy. You can become a millionaire. You can win financially, as well as any other aspect in life. It's just a matter of obeying God, gaining knowledge, and doing that knowledge. That's what it means to obey Him. Anyways, thank you for watching. I appreciate you, and I hope you have a good day.